Call the December meeting, Property and Rec Committee to order. Was the meeting properly noticed?
Yes, it was.
Roll call, let it show all members are present. Approve the agenda. Seconded by Mike. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of the minutes from October 12th. So motion by Mike. Second by Bill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public participation. We'll hold that open for anything that might come up. Correspondence. Do we have any correspondence?
We do not.
Project status report. Kyle, are you on? I didn't have my mic on, maybe he didn't hear. Kyle, are you on?
Right.
Okay, obviously Kyle. Oh, there he is.
Project status.
Yeah, so most of the departments have gone through and updated the project status report. We're highlighting stuff in orange that's been completed, and we're going to continue to just update and add on projects as they come up for departments. Any questions on the project status report?
Seeing none. Move on to treasury report. Okay.
At this point, we're pretty, well, I shouldn't say quiet, it's tax season, but as far as the tax deeds, we just got the bill for the title searches, which is like 3 months ahead of schedule. So once tax season year end gets done, there's a good chance that we could be filing with the court here by the end of January already. And as of right now, we started out with like about 150 when we sent out in September. We're down to about 70. So we sent out the letters that all title searches were in and added the $200 fees, and I'm sure we'll get some more payments between now and then also. So everything is looking really good.
Thank you, Jenny. Okay, moving on with the maintenance report. Bill?
Good afternoon, everyone. In addition to the written report, I can tell you that the courthouse building project, the issue with the doors for courtroom A, the doors were installed last week, Thursday, on courtroom A. The correct doors did come in. I was able to get them on the schedule. They got the new doors, the fire rated doors installed in that courtroom, which brings us into compliance then with the code compliant plans that the state issued. And I know that the Veterans Memorial up front, they're working on it again today. So the footings are all in place. They're installing the rebar cage today, and they hopefully get the forms up today. I'm not sure if they're going to try to pour tomorrow. I know it's going to be warm enough this week for them to pour, so they're going to try to get it poured, and hopefully that will then clean up that front wall, and they'll be ready for installation of the plaques when they do come in for the memorial. That's the only updates I have for the written report. Any questions?
Okay, Bill, thanks for your report. And the next item is you too, I guess. Discuss and or act on office reconfiguration to accommodate additional judicial assistant position.
Right, so this came up because they created another position for the court system upstairs. Each one of the justices up there, the 2 judges, will now have their own judicial assistant. I believe one is also acting as register and probate. The other is acting as the juvenile clerk, I believe. They had approached me to discuss the possibility of rearranging the current, reconfiguring the current space in order to accommodate the 2 people up there, the additional position. I had expressed that I felt that could be done in-house. I estimated a project cost of around a couple $1,000s. They were gonna come and kind of come here to just ask your permission, I guess, for this, and I told them that I would get it on the agenda. I don't see either one of them here. So I'm just representing them, I guess, at this point, and asking the committee's permission to reconfigure the existing space. It's gonna entail moving one wall and adding another wall and a door. Like I said, this is something we'd probably handle in-house. I wouldn't start it after the first of the year. We're kind of booked up through the holiday season here, but just kind of looking for either permission or for guidance moving forward with this project.
Okay, do we have any discussion?
Bill, where exactly are you looking to add the additional room at?
Right now, there's a register and probate office. Next to that is an office space where the court security personnel used to sit. Both these office spaces have a fire rated public service facing window with a coiled shutter on. So what they're looking to do is to utilize the space so that each office has a public facing window so that they can serve the public through that public facing window. So it'd be moving the one wall over to make the offices about the same size, and the addition of a door in that office space where the court security personnel used to sit now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody, Josh?
Can you give us an idea of what kind of space you're dealing with there, Bill?
Yeah, I think each of the office spaces would wind up being around 10 by 12, 120 square feet, Josh. Right now, the current register and probate office, I believe, is about 160 square feet. That office would get a little smaller. The other office would get space would get a little bigger, so they'd each wind up with about 120 square feet, so 10 by 12 office space. Each one with a public service facing window with the fire shutter on it.
That'll be adequate space for them to take, then seems small, but
They're definitely not gonna be oversized, but they seem to think that that's what they would really like, is both the people up there, so that if one person's gone, they still have somebody up there with a forward facing public service window.
okay. All right, thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? It seems kind of a shame, a brand new building that we're starting to remodel it before it's been in use for what, a year?
Gary, that's exactly my sentiment. It definitely is a shame. I know this came up because of the addition of the additional position upstairs there. It's a position that they did not have before we did the remodel project. It's unfortunate as well that it's brand new remodeled space, and we're gonna remodel it again. I mean, not remodel, just reconfigure it, really. It's not a lot of work, but still, nonetheless, it would have been nice if this position had been in place prior to the project. This could have all been accomplished during the project.
And do you think that if we approved a $2,000 budget to do this, you'd be able to get it done for that?
That's a good guess, Jerry. Yeah, I mean, I kind of ran some numbers through. It's just some sheetrock and some studs and a door. There's not too much to it. And some insulation, obviously, because we're going to want to insulate the walls for soundproofing effect. Something that I wish they would have done throughout the entire project would be to insulate the interior walls, and for the little cost of the insulation.
Any other discussion? Do I hear a motion? For the sake of moving forward with it, at least getting it on the floor, I will make a motion to approve $2,000 budget to reconfigure.
I'll say.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion?
So what happens if it's over $2,000?
Well, if we approve it as $2,000, he'd have to come back to us if it's going over.
That sounds like something that you can do without coming back here?
I honestly do believe so. I mean, you're looking at, like I said, a couple of stud walls, some insulation. We have a lot of the materials on site already. We already have a door, we already have a door handle, some hard electrical certified hardware for that. We have a card in place, we want to hook it up to the access control system, which we probably will. So a lot of the components that are necessary to make this all happen are already on site or in place, so it's just gonna be the addition of purchasing some materials, for this project.
Okay.
The labor will be handled through my regular budget cost.
Mr. Chair, and this item will also be added to his project status report. You can see the
Okay.
status of it.
All right. But we have a motion on the floor. It's seconded to approve $2,000 for the reconfiguration. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Parks Department report. Who's first?
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. The gist of our activities have been, I guess, shutting down the parks, winterizing all of our facilities, both water and docks and such. I guess a couple of highlights that I have on here would be that the highway department talked to me about keeping that sidewalk clear on that new Highway Z project. I was able to purchase a snow blower for track units, so I will be doing that for them for the next year, and I'll be billing them according to the state rates, which would be somewhere between $65 and $75 an hour. And at our next meeting, Fred Hyder from North Central Regional Planning Commission will be stopping, or will be here for the meeting to discuss starting to work for our new outdoor recreation plan that expires at the end of 2023. So they'll be in here at our next committee meeting to explain the process and discuss the possible survey questions to start that process. And like I said, we're just modernizing and getting things ready for the end of the year. Darren, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't have anything else major that I can think of offhand. Everything's.
Are there any questions?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to offer that we have a celebrity in our midst with Darren. He was interviewed with Uniquely Wisconsin, and it was very entertaining. They're in the draft form right now with what's getting ready to go public. So he did a good job there.
Thank you, Darren. Let's all give him a hand. Celebrity. Okay, that information you just talked about there, Doug, I'm not gonna be able to be at the next meeting. So could you make sure that that's put in a printed form, so I will at least be able to read it and know what's going on?
Sure.
That'll,
And we haven't
Yeah.
scheduled with him because we didn't know the exact meeting date, but he said January to February.
okay. I'll be back in February, but January I'm gonna have to miss. Okay, next is discuss and or act on town of Rome vacant land offer to purchase. Who's the lead on this? Is that you, Cynthia?
I guess that'll be me. There's 1.9 acres of property on State Highway 13 that borders Syracuse, and this is an offer from the town of Rome to purchase that property. The county owns that. If you recall, spring of this year, not sure if we have a new committee established yet or not, but we went through all of the properties that Adams County owned and evaluated all of them, and this is one of those parcels that we were just hanging on to. We weren't putting out for bid because it bordered Syracuse and Rome was interested in it. So the offer to purchase is for $4,000.
Okay, do we have any questions or discussion on that?
What is the property now? What's on it now? Is it how many buildings?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the property right now has there's like a driveway on there for someone to access their property that is beyond that property. So that's pretty much all that's on there. It's just a driveway.
So it does have driveway access from Highway 13.
Correct. Yep, it's just north of Tri Lake Storage, I think.
Mhm. Josh, go ahead.
They're considering that driveway an easement then?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I believe it is an easement for that owner that's beyond that property, for them to be able to access their property.
Thank you.
All right, so Jenny, you okay with this not being a bid process?
Oh, yeah, because that's prior to anything, it's been there forever. I just didn't know if you had gotten a assessment value from the assessor of what you thought he was.
Yeah, Mr.
Right.
Chair. Yeah, so the DNR, I believe, helped Rome get the pricing on the property because they're gonna be acquiring it through DNR funds. Darren shaking his head. He's pretty familiar with it, too.
That's where I have a question. $4,000 for 2 acres right on Highway 13 in Rome. Sounds awful low to me, especially considering it's bordering Syracuse. And that would be a perfect place for somebody to open up a ATV, UTV shop or something concerning ATV, UTV use. It would seem to me that the value of that property would be a lot higher than $4,000.
What's the necessity?
Mr. Chair. Yeah, so there's no property assessment on it because it is a non-tax parcel, but there's also that easement that we'd have to consider as well. And that driveway runs pretty much right through that parcel. So the easement would probably bring down the property value, I would believe, because we have to give that person access to get to his property. In Rome, the town of Rome is aware of that easement. They actually brought it to my attention.
Any more discussion? Right here, Mike.
Just a mention about the property, I don't believe, as far as your concerns, Jerry, about building a ATV repair unit, I don't think that property is, Kyle can correct me, or one of the Doug or Darren, but I don't believe that property is deep enough to put any type of business on. I mean, if you're going in from the roadway to where Deer Hughes has their fencing, I just by driving by it occasionally, it doesn't appear to me to be capable of sustaining some type of business just because of the size of or the depth of the property.
Kyle, another question. Do we have the option of counter offer? Or is it not worth it? Kind of looking for your expertise on that.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I guess I'm not entirely sure if we are able to. That'd probably be a question for Corporation Council. I would imagine that we are able to do a counter offer, though. That's pretty standard.
Jenny, go ahead.
Kyle, do you have a map of that one to show what the shape is? So I'm in agreement, if it's a long skinny piece and it's more of an access point, it's not gonna be worth a whole lot, but I don't know, I haven't looked at the map, so because he knows Kyle, but I don't, even if they took the easement away, which they won't, and they can't, it's gonna be useless, otherwise it's more or less, it is just another access point and just square off Deer Hughes.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, so it's basically the southwest corner of a 40-acre parcel that was cut out. The county somehow acquired this from Nakusa Edwards Paper Company, I believe, way back in the 40s. So it's like this 2-acre square parcel out of the southwest corner of 40.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to sell.
We have a motion to sell it. Do we have a second?
I'll second it for the price of $4,000.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
4 ayes and 1 opposed. Okay. Any items for the next agenda? Okay, I won't be here. I will be looking at the agenda for Ann Rock. You'll be chairing the meeting. And I don't know, you want somebody to fill in for me, Rocky?
You can find somebody.
Yeah, my old go-to retired.
Mr. Chair, while we're under discussion, I would like to have a discussion now or in the near future about disbanding the property committee and having it fold in with the building committee. Because it doesn't seem to be enough on our agenda to warrant the meetings.
Well, that's not the first time that's been mentioned. It would have to be brought up to admin and finance committee. Well, no, it'd have to go to the executive committee, wouldn't it? Yeah,
I can look into that.
You put that as a motion, I'd second that.
That's just an agenda discussion right now.
yeah, we can't make a motion on that. It's not on the agenda. And first we would
I
have to,
thought we could make a motion on,
we could make a motion to put it on the agenda. But I believe it's a subject for the executive committee appoints all of the appointments, all the committee members. So I'm kind of at a loss. I wish Jeff was here because I don't know if that would have to go to the executive committee to reform, or if it would have to go to admin and finance committee.
Talking about the committee of appointments.
Which is the executive committee. And either way, I don't think it could happen till the next election cycle. It would have to be done prior to the next election cycle going in effect with the next board.
well, you could make it an amendment to any,
Why don't we put that up to Jeff? Do you want to talk to Jeff Cynthia? Would you like me to?
I don't know that it needs to be on the agenda. What I could do is look into it and then reach out to whoever's chairing to see if they want to add it to the agenda. Would that be, I think that's okay to do it that way. The chair can approve agenda items.
Mhm.
So we do it at that time. Maybe have it added.
we could make a motion to have it on the agenda now, and those people that needed to be here to discuss it could be here.
First, we gotta find out which committee is gonna make the decision, and then we'll get it on the agendas. Because I don't believe at this committee that we can make a decision just to merge with another committee.
No, but we can make a motion to have an agenda item so it can be discussed. And then people that are responsible for being here could be here. Be part of the motion.
Okay. Again, that's a question for Jeff.
We could put it on the agenda as an agenda item,
Like a discussion.
discussion about.
Right, we can put it on as discussion, but can't act on anything.
Right. So then if you discuss it next time, then you could edit it as an agenda for the next time, so we're talking 2 months out.
Mhm.
So what's the recommendation? To have it on the agenda?
We'll put it on the agenda for discussion for next month.
Okay. And then where does it go once, say,
Because all it would be here would be basic discussion, no more than what we're doing right now. could not act on it at all. It would have to, we'll have to find out from corp council which committee would have the authority over that, and where it would go, and when, the timeline on when it could be enacted if it was passed.
So one thing to consider, you have 5 members on this, you have 5 members on the building. Which one is going away?
Well, is that all that's allowed on a committee is 5 members?
I think 5, yeah.
That's,
We don't have any committees that have over 5 county board members. We have a couple of committees such as planning and zoning that have 5 county board and 2 citizen members. But none of them have more than 5 county board members.
well, my feeling is everybody wanted to be on that committee with the building committee. We could make an amendment to the bylaws. Yeah,
So we're really getting into the,
That would
Right.
be information you should be gathering for next week.
Right, this is stuff that's, hopefully we can get Jeff here at that discussion at that meeting, so he can answer these questions.
okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other items for next agenda? I declare the meeting adjourned.
Next meeting's when?
Oh.
January 9th?
Yep, January 9th.
Aye.
2:00.